Triangles can be classified or categorized based on their side lengths or the size of their angles. So in this first section here, we want to classify each triangle as isosceles, equilateral, or scalene. So you can look at these here, pause the video, you want to try these. The second section, we want to classify each triangle as acute, right, or obtuse. Let's go back to the first one then. If a triangle has at least two sides that are equal or congruent, then it can be called an isosceles triangle. If all three sides have the same measure, we can call it an equilateral triangle. If none of the three sides have the same measure, then it's scalene. So if we look at the first one here, the only thing we're given here is that the base angles of this triangle are 60 degrees. So if the base angles have the same measure, the opposite sides have to have the same measure. So these two sides have the same measure. They're congruent. So for sure it's isosceles. However, we know that the total value or the total measure of the three angles is 180. So since this is 60 and this one here 60, the base angles add to 120. So that leaves 60 degrees for the third angle. So since all three angles have the same measure, all three sides have to have the same measure. So this one we can say it's equilateral. Can we say it's isosceles? Yeah, we can. Isosceles simply means at least two of the sides are congruent or have the same measure. But more specific, all three have it because all three angles have the same measure. So I would go with equilateral here, or you can go with isosceles and equilateral if it asks you to select all that apply. Now on the next one side of the triangle measures 7, another one measures 10 units, another one 16. So they're all different. So we don't have any pair that's equal. So this one here would be scalene. None of the three sides have the same measure. And then in the last one, the only thing you're given there, these two marks here indicate that those two sides have the same measure. We didn't know about the third side. That's not given. We're not given any angles. So for this one here, we simply know that two sides have the same measure. So for the last one on this section, we would go with isosceles. Now on the next one, it says classify each triangle as acute. Acute simply means that all the angles are less than 90 degrees, between 0 and 90. Right means that one angle has a measure of 90 degrees. And remember, you can't have more than one 90-degree angle because the total has to be 180. And obtuse simply means that one angle of the triangle has a measure of more than 90 degrees. And again, you can't assume information that's not there. So if you look at the first one, it looks like it's obtuse. This angle looks like it's more. 90 degrees would be here. So if you're just looking by looks, yeah, you would say this one is obtuse. The second one, it looks like this is a right angle here, but you can't assume it. But if you just go on looks, you would say, yeah, right angle. And over here, again, one of these, this one here looks like it might be a right angle, but you're not sure. So on this one here, let's suppose I say this one is, suppose this angle is 135. This is given to be 135 degrees. And let's say this one has a little mark like this. Notation for a right angle. This is telling you, when you see this notation here, this is telling you this is 90 degrees. So the first one is obtuse. The angle has one angle larger than 90 degrees. The second one has a right angle right here. So the second one's a right triangle. And this one we're not given anything, but let's suppose we're given that this is 60 degrees. This is 60 degrees. And this is 60 degrees. Here the categories are acute, right, or obtuse. Well, these are all 60 degrees, so they're all angles with a measure less than 90. So this would be an acute triangle if you're given this information. Again, the second one is a right triangle, and the first one is an obtuse triangle. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.